There's a lot going on when you look at biofuels, and if you had a publication on biofuels, it would be very thick every week.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why I'm busy. Being out in Washington, we're looking at what all the things you might mention. Um, we're looking at taking an all the above approach to building markets. Right, we've got this big crop coming in, and we think whether it's through E15 nationwide, E15 in California, whether that's through expansion into new uses, we're looking at a big corn crop coming in, and we want to be in the position to support that price and to support farmers.
Can legislation be changed and in time to accommodate the market for that big crop?
Well, that's the thing is we're right now this big crop has everyone focused on those pieces of legislation that are going to have the most immediate impact, right? So if you look at E15, there's a lot of places in the country and a lot of retail situations where it really is a flip of the switch once the retailers get the go ahead. Some will take months, and of course, getting all the way from E10 to E15 is going to take a while. But if you look at the numbers involved, just going from just rough numbers from 10%, so E10 to E11, let's say that's where we got our blend rate to, then you're looking at 1.5 billion gallons of ethanol and a half a billion bushels of corn. That's a number that would be a nice thing to offer to this crowd.
It wouldn't take many half billion bushels to consume all of that.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's why we're looking at those. We're certainly playing the long game as well, whether that's in aviation fuel or maritime uses. We certainly want to diversify the opportunities for markets that ethanol has. But yes, in terms of immediacy, we're really looking to get E15 across the finish line.
What's the priority right now is when Congress gets back uh, to Washington? What's the first thing that you want them to know and what you would like them to do?
Well, I think when it comes to the E15 side, we've got we've got most of the work done. It's just about taking that final step and getting it into a package, getting it into a vehicle that goes through. We had the support of the White House, we had the support of leadership in getting that provision into the package in December. Of course, that package got too big to continue, and I don't think E15 was one of the problematic parts, right? And we have good authority for that. But it got stripped back down to the bare bones, and now as we see other vehicles move forward, whether that's any type of funding bill, we think that there's likely an opportunity to get on the next moving vehicle.
Now, does that include whatever is going to get passed by the end of September for the new budget?
Well, that's what we always have to hope for, right? Just even today, I'm seeing articles that I'm talking to too many farmers to read the whole thing, but we've got speculation for different scenarios of how the funding process is going to go. You sometimes see a short-term continuing resolution, give them a couple more weeks. There are some elements that could be initial passage now and finally get wrapped up later in the calendar year. But I'd say we'd prefer to be to stick to that September 30th deadline and to be involved in something that can work for us.
Our member of Congress here, Representative Budzinski, is co-chair of the House Ethanol or Biofuels Caucus.
Yep.
Is she somebody that you work with closely to get this done?
Absolutely. Congresswoman Budzinski is very proactive, obviously taking on the chair position within the caucus from day one is what we've said on her is she hit the ground running on our issue and was able to plug in and make connections that have been above and beyond. So she's taken the lead. She's led a number of important pieces of legislation on this. Of course, right now you need Republican support for things to go anywhere, but I think she's done a good job of knowing how to make the connections and make it make sense in a bipartisan way.
Okay, and that's what I wondered because she's always pushing the bipartisan aspect of it. As far as the GOP, do we have resistance there?
Not locally. I think there are probably some legacy positions about there's got to be something we can get for this. If we vote for E15, we need a trade. What can you give me? and we don't necessarily know what those are, and we just don't want to miss out on an opportunity for everyone to have something that they can say, even if you're in some place that's not as well known for corn. That we saw that farmers were needing something, that this was an opportunity to give agriculture a win when they need it, when you're looking at a bumper crop.
What do I not ask that's important to this conversation?
I would say the interest of farmers. So, we're not trying to steer the conversations anywhere. We've got our flex fuel vehicles here. But when folks are coming out, they're saying, okay, a flex fuel vehicle. Well, we've got this Chevy over here that they're using E85 again. That's really good to hear. How does that relate to that push for E15 or the tax credits or any of the other things that we're looking at? And I think you've got folks just looking for markets. We've heard a number of comments covering the waterfront, but the common thread is market expansion.
Now, let me ask, as far as the market expansion, does industry have the capacity to turn that extra billion bushels of corn into ethanol in a fairly rapid way?
That extra billion bushels or half a billion bushels, sure. We've got a couple billion gallons of capacity not being used right now. These build-outs go faster than they did in 2005, and I don't think we're at the point where we're talking about build-outs, but in terms of turning on more of that idled capacity or upping our production at the plants that have the additional capacity, we've got some room to grow.